Good morning. Good morning. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, July 14th, 2021. Wednesday and quality, safety, COVID-19, health. Title of talk being Civil Field Engineering, Quality Analysis, Quality Annexes, Structure, COVID-19, HSC, Engineer's Role, Designs, Construction, Methods, Contracts, Organizations, Communication, Coordination, etc., etc., etc. Certification, very important part of life. Quality is such a part which cannot be missed but is being missed. And then we have to see so many other topics. This is every day I show certificates just to let you know that everybody has it who is a professional or who is having some other training or qualification that announces competency to that extent within that person, and that competency is not for showcase but for implementation. That competency I call it. If I'm a chartered engineer or a professional engineer, I must have some quality within me, or else I'm not. I'm finding these days world has different approach, particularly in our country, whose citizen I am, Bharat, India. Quality is a meaning in terms of terminology. It has a meaning in terms of, you can say, paper. It has a meaning in terms of just telling others, but in practicality, in delivery of works or goods or services, quality, I think, on an overall basis, there is absence. I'm not claiming this, but it's automatically claimed. It doesn't exist because there does not exist any level of coordination or communication, be it government dealing or be it corporate dealing, whatever dealing it be. Communications or coordinations, highest value which to whom we should give, are having least value. There was a time when coordination was very good all over the world. Communication was very good. I am calling both different because communication and coordination have different chapters. Communication is just a medium, while coordination is like a profession. Coordination profession exists in every profession. Coordination. It may be technical profession or medical profession or some other profession. It may be government working or it may be corporate working or it may be public working. Without coordination, nothing can move. We have to understand difference between coordination and communication. When I say coordination, it has a structure. It must have a structure. It must have a protocol. It must have a definition. But when I say communication, it is something, a medium, how to communicate, how to transform, how to transmit one information to a person to another language dealing information or same dealing information. That's why question is quality of communication, quality of coordination, quality approach everywhere, which is a must in construction or otherwise in designs. When time is important, when cost is important, when risks are important, where reliability is a question, where analysis is a solution, is a method, where synthesis is a method, where thinking is what. And combination of those, all we call that application. I'm not giving here coordination terminology. I'm trying to say it's very much powerful tool in engineering itself and all over world itself. When communication and coordination both miss, quality misses, there are lapses, there are overlooks, condonation, there are, you can say, ignorance issues, and we miss a lot. Maybe you people not clearly able to understand now, but quality is an integral part of life. It may be whatever subject you deal with, whatever work you deal with. If quality of working, quality of material, quality of system, quality is absent means it doesn't work, that material doesn't work. I'm just giving one very small example. This is regarding one purchase, small purchase. I booked 2 mouses, computer mouses with HP dealer somewhere. I'm not going to take his name. I paid money online. There were so many messages after paying money and booking order that it is happening now, we are at this stage, we got your order, this message. Mail also came, we have booked this order, we have packed it, we have transferred it, this and that. All stages were intimated point by point. I think maybe 5 or 6 or 4 messages what received within 24 hours. And it's also a fact that material was also delivered. Up to that it's okay, means it is automatically system works on computers. I am sure that nobody personally passes that messages. It's all computerized. I received this parcel, I received these mouses, I opened them. When I opened, out of 2, I tried one. It did not work. I tried many times. It did not work. Mouse did not work. Then I tried another one. Another worked. It worked successfully on my computer. Other one worked. First I was very angry, means what is this? It's complete new material and it doesn't work. I of course sent a mail to them. My example is to let you know so much communication was there, so much automatism is there. That's okay. You were not able, that packer or that agent or that company dealing with wasn't able to test one or two successfully, means they tested neither of these. Both mouses were packed and dispatched. Nobody might have tried to check or to ensure that both mouses are operational or are in working order. Where is quality then? If a new item does like that, means your job is only packing, your job is not to test that material. Does quality state that you dispatch something to customer without testing? That is my reference question. And if that is true, this means your system says that, or your system says that check it, make sure it works before packing it. I am sure your system would say that. There's no way to say no, do not check it. It must have been checked. In system, it must have been instructed. I don't know their system. But how can you dispatch something without making sure that this item works? That's my point. If your item doesn't work, you have got no right to annoy customer. Because if customer shall definitely be angry. No, what is this? A material from HP is like that? I'm not sure. How can HP say that? This means there was some ignorance on part of coordination between a person who issues this item to other person who takes care of that. That's the point. This means that person who gave it to dispatch or to packing did not do its job. Certainly, I am not blaming company. I am blaming here some person who ignored it. Company would never say post or send something which doesn't work. Why should company say that? This means there was no coordination. Only job, okay, send it. If there is a problem, somebody will complain. Maybe that is practical thinking in minds of people. That's what I say. There is no quality. Means because of your ignorance or because of a system lacuna, you are going to put your customer in trouble. You are going to put reputation of your company in trouble, because I would certainly say, oh, HP cannot look into this, or this agency, authorized agency cannot look into that. That's my question. That's the reason I'm just trying to stress on quality. It's not material, as it's a system also. Where okay, material is not working, I say testing was not done. But system provision, system explanation, system's commands were also missed because nobody checked that. Had they checked it, certainly they would not have transmitted. That's the point here. Try to understand. My dear, it's life. So much so happens. Quality is not a joke. It requires concentration. Quality and coordination. Coordination, I say. You have to coordinate. What does it mean? Coordination doesn't mean crying. You cannot cry. You have to work. If you keep on crying only, that's not coordination. That's like dogs bark. That's like dogs bark. And I'm not interested in dogs. I'm interested in work. If dogs keep on barking, what to do? Quality. In Hindi we call gunavatta. You know that? Gunavatta. Gun means your specific character. How much you work on this. If I cannot concentrate on my job, I can't do job, I will miss something. This means absence of concentration means no job. This means there may be 10 sequences, for example, in some activity, and if you don't concentrate, you will miss certain requirements. Your job cannot be called fulfilled. Incomplete job you are working with, you are delivering service which is incomplete. You have no right for that. You have duty to do something. Your system says you have to do it, but you do not do that. This means attitude of a person is not correct. It's clear from this example. Company would not say do it, but you did that. Means you neither care for your company, nor care for your job, and not care for your duty, whosoever you are. Quality you broke, system you broke, and customer is harassed because of that. Now I have to write mail to them for what? For being delivered a bad item. Item that is dead, that doesn't work. What do you call it? And this is nothing new. This happens all over this country. Quality, spelling people do not understand. They do not understand meaning of quality. They may be highest educated people in whatever level of professor or non-professor. They may be whatsoever they are, but they are not quality bound. Destination is not quality. Destination is only talk. Destination only show. Destination is only presentation. Destination is only webinar, destination is only seminar, nothing else. People only want to show that they are doing something, or name should appear in certain list that they are author of this presentation, they are author of this book, or they are author of this writing. Millions and millions of professionals work in our country, and I think millions of millions work only without quality. Maybe few percentage is there, I cannot say that, but that is ignorable. That percentage is not countable due to this reason. I started this with quality because quality has gone out of sense. Our senses should also have quality. What way we think, what way we do, how do we think, how do we do, it depends upon that. When I was young, we were taught you have to raise question as science student. You always start with what, you start with why, you start with how. Very, very common means you have to raise questions. If you are a science student, or even if you are not a science student, it is right of everybody to raise question during training or during work. What I am doing, why I am doing, how I am doing, what's the reason behind that? What, shall I have different path? Can I do something else? Means you have to raise yourself for your own knowledge improvement, for your own experience improvement. You have to raise these questions yourself. But how many of us? We want to finish job, that's it. We want to finish job. It may be quality job or it may not be quality job. We want to do that. Quality should be a part of our life, and if it is not part of our life, we cannot live actually. When I say health, when I say safety, when I say environment, this is all linked to quality, because quality is basics in every good or every service, every existence. Without quality, nature cannot survive. Without quality, air cannot survive. Even if survives, you cannot use it. This means existence or no existence. I cannot use air if it has got bad quality. I cannot eat fruit if it is bad quality. I cannot eat something else if it is bad quality. Means we cannot eat bad quality food, we cannot eat bad quality something else. But we do not value quality. Some people mind when I see that, when I speak that. Let them mind. Who bothers about this? If my health is not good, I would say there's some problem in my quality, because I am not maintaining my body properly, or I am not taking food in time, or I am doing something which I should not have done. I should not have done. I am doing that. This means my health cannot be safe. My safety has gone out. Health should be safe, and safety should be in health. When we say safe, I should be safe. And when I am safe, I am healthy. I should be safe from diseases. I should be safe from something else. I should be safe from, having good body. I should have good body all time. Disease-free body, ailment-free body. Everybody likes that. But you can do only when you take photo in time, you resort to all precautionary measures in line, you drink good water, you have medical examination all time. Likewise, you can say that you can have good life, good health, good safety, good environment. Because if people work with health, good health and safety, certainly they shall create a supportive environment in your work. That environment is related to health, that is related to safety, and all these factors, all these points of safety, health and environment and whatever else, they all are linked to quality. Quality means quality of survival, quality of existence, quality of thinking, quality of working, quality of testing, quality of designing, quality of writing, quality of working, quality, quality, quality. We have to generalize it. It's not testing alone. It's consideration alone. What do I consider? It should also depend on something. Now, COVID-19, we all know, nothing new in this. It's flourishing very well. It's thriving very well. It's operating very well. It's moving very well. But we are not able to contain it. No country in the world today can say that it has contained COVID-19. If they say, they make false statements, whosoever they are. They make false considerations. Means they are impatient to say that COVID-19 has gone. They have impatience. And that impatience means they are mindless people, I can say. Whoever says today COVID has gone, that person can be easily called senseless and mindless. You do not know, you do not see that, you do not find anything about that, and you claim that it has gone or it's going. Yes, it is good to give such statements for purpose of news making, for purpose of television show, for purpose of writing newspaper. You can say that. The scientist says that, the politician says that, or they are trying to lift all restrictions related to COVID-19. For that purpose, for the dissemination of news, this can be said. Very expected. Many foolish leaders in the world are doing that. Many foolish leaders. I can call them simply foolish because they don't value human lives. They don't care how more problematic this COVID-19 would be if we lift restrictions imposed for purpose of its protection. Those people are really mindless, I can say. They may be whosoever all over the world. I don't respect some politicians because they are interested in torturing people because this shall lead to torture. When we know nothing about this, you will torture them. Means, let us say, one news I read that if all do not use mask, it is a problem. Yes, that's right. Why do you want to lift mask? Just to gain political mileage out of that? See, this person has helped us. He is not forcing us to wear masks. I think people are not so innocent. Yes, there are people who are not happy with masks, and there are also people who are happy with this. I read one survey that 60% in England, 60% public in England is not happy if mask is removed. They said no, COVID is still there. And it's good that they don't respect politicians in this case. Though you should not respect politicians. Because politician is not an expert. Nowhere in the world politician is an expert. They are very, very ordinary people. Because they can mislead people. I say they are misleaders, not leaders. Political misleaders, I should say, rather than all over the world. All. They are misleaders. They only want to make their images in people's eyes by issuing false statements, irrelevant statements, just to tell them that they are thinking of them while they are thinking bad for them. Means economy is more important than lives of people. They want to prove it, that economy is more important than your life. You think so? 1 year loss, 2 year loss, 3 year loss of earning. But if you lose your life and want to make earning, what is relation you can think yourself? If you earn and you loosen your life, what did you earn? You earn loss of life. That loss of life is more powerful than loss of money, or money is loss more powerful than you think yourself. There is nothing in this that I can explain to you. So when I talk of quality, I talk of this. I don't respect politicians because they are political misleaders. I did not respect them before also because they don't have any qualification, they don't have any capability, they don't have any technology. They are very, very, very ordinary class of people, much lower than workers' class. Political leaders all over the world are having lowest ranks. I think sweepers are better than them, peons are better than them, drivers are better than them, the smallest level of workers are better than them. All politicians, political misleaders of world, political scammers of world, they are all useless. They are only interested in preservation of their political post, or you can say their constitutional positions. Not more than that they can think for people. For them, one person dies or 1,000,000 persons die. For them, there is no problem. Yes, if some of their family members, some of the family members die, I think that is best example, that best lesson they can learn from. Really, I am very cruel in making this statement, but it is a fact. I at least do not respect any political related person, because politics means don't think of people. New meaning of politics is do not be concerned about public problem. This is a new meaning, and that's how COVID is teaching us. I consider COVID a social teacher, a national teacher, and international teacher. COVID is that. COVID has taught us what this world is. COVID has exposed us what level of these political fools we have, and of course how long we have advanced in science and in medical world. We are too behind in comparison to nature. We too have too behind. Nature has so much with this that even an invisible particle of 0.00002 millimeter can make problem for whole world. Means smaller size than a dust particle, smaller size, much smaller size, or you may say smaller size than an atom can create problem for us. This point is very much important to understand. We are in that situation. Quality it may be, which is required everywhere, but we don't have that. This COVID says that we don't have any quality. We always live in a state of panic. We do not know what to do. We do not know what's the line of action, and we do not know how to understand this problem. If we can't understand this problem, we cannot solve any problem. And that's what's happening. We are much more behind money rather than having safe life. There are people who are very poor, those people who work physically and at lowest level. Of course, money is a problem for them because these closing of works or lockdowns don't allow them earning, and there is a problem as well, economic problem from beginning itself, that these people are unable to. I can speak for them that they are really in trouble when economy closes, but they are in more trouble when there is no medical service extended to them. There have been many cases in our country that treatment was not extended to them by state properly because those people cannot afford private hospitals. During this COVID problem, they do not have capacity to spend money, and government is not courteous enough with them. Government is only, or you can say, these political crooks are only interested in their votes. They're not interested in their safety, in their health, in their survival. I can say this is conclusive statement for such state. So we have to be very careful that quality which has been missing must be brought back, and this can be done only by those people who are professionals, who are committed, who are obliged, who know meaning of humanity. Means human is killing human should be banned. Human killing humanity should not be recognized. Powerful beats low powerful. This should not be accepted. No one is powerful in this world. No one. Because no one has ownership of this world. Only honor of this world can be powerful, not passers-by. We all are passers-by of this world. We cannot own this world, and no one does have capacity to absolutely use this world. World belongs to all occupants of this world, which may be 8 billion or whatsoever. We have to change our mindset. If we don't change our mindset, mind will set us. Mind shall set us in right direction or wrong direction. That depends upon how we think so. Really, very, very annoying statement I am making through this talk. We are very irresponsible society. Irresponsible in the sense, when lakhs people died, people were enjoying by marriage celebration, by some other celebration. So we do not care for even deaths. We do not honor them who have left this world during this COVID-19 state and also otherwise. Bodies were not respected, dead bodies. There were no ritualistic cremation for them or burial for them. This is all because quality from humanity has gone. If we do not value quality, this means we do not value ourselves. We always talk that health is very important, quality is very important. We have to we have to abide by quality, we have to take care of health. But are we doing that? Are we complying with quality? My question is that. And I say absence of quality means absence of present and absence of future. And there is no question of learning from past, because also past is full of such bad quality goods and products and services. Engineers who are very important part of this society all over the world, means it doesn't need any explanation that we have to prove that engineers are a very important part of this society. If engineers do not care about quality, then there is no answer to that, because engineers are bound to work for quality, work with quality, inculcate, or you can say fix in quality in every product. Engineers must realize quality effects, and in particular civil engineers have to change quality aspect of society, or else quality cannot exist. Systems quality to be devised and achieved. Broken system means broken life linked to broken system. Professionals, individual quality to be amended, and one must be forced to amend its quality for reliability by additional teaching, and by additional knowledge dissemination. Relevant element or product define quality to be achieved. Individuals required attitude quality to be streamlined. Individuals' dedication to be applied on actions. Work commitment to be made and fulfilled for delivery of goods or services. And all other parameters to deal with for requirements. Now, designs of structures and other must be decisive, safe, qualitative, and must be reliable for prosecution. All stages designs being significant, but merely design does not suffice if construction and development are not effective to specified marks required or defined. Quality cannot be allowed to be ignored. Drawings must have quality input and duly coordinated to produce working details, keeping abreast site working conditions. For site cannot be relied upon automatically, but provide clear notes, specify properly and explicitly. Construction based on reasonable, coordinated, constructible quality designs and HSC. All activities must be taken care of, but it does not happen. Reasons being lethargy in attitude and undue strains in minds. Reasons being lethargy in attitude and undue restraints in minds. Why should site work suffer? Why should site work suffer? Because of deficiencies in designs. Designs accountability must be fixed. If accountability on construction or constructed product or element is required, design and construction qualities are complementary to each other. And without integrated coordination, activities worked upon shall result in qualityless work. Construction method statement is a must and it must be implemented. Expression of specific details in convenient format for work performance and define elaborate performance, or else no work can be carried out in sequence of output suffers, resulting in bad standard works. Method statements must be made necessary for activities implementation, or else diverse ways can be used by site teams without achieving any level of uniformity and consistency. Time is irrecoverable. Irrecoverable. Time is irrecoverable. Risks must be foreseen for resolutions, for damages are not tenable and must be controlled in advance. Inexperienced engineers may prove inefficient in weaving such risks-based emergencies, and therefore thorough deliberations or brainstorming is a must. Says excavation safety. You can say beginning of activity beginning of activity it is, and it's very very important that we should concentrate on this. This is, you can say, excavation safety, we call it excavation safety. That's very important part, and let us say that that this method or procedure applies to all excavations and trenches. Trenches, you know what's trench. Excavation, you know what's excavation. Excavations can be shallow or deep, both major or minor, mass area or for related footings, for infrastructural services, etc., etc. It can be for foundations, it can be for structural services, it can be for whatever else. I mean to say infrastructural services, it can be for every activity. The purpose is that it's a procedure providing guidelines for protecting personal and for workers performing either excavation work or working in or adjacent to an excavation or excavated trench from accidents by caving in or falling into trenches. When you do excavation work, until you are not excavated, you will not find risk except very difficult. It's not necessary that strata can be rock, it can be sand, it can be clay or some other strata. It has been experienced that line staff always reacts confident to perform excavation using equipment or otherwise are required to understand various pertinent effects. Now in definitions, refreshing is also very important. we call it bench. It breaks vertical continuity, means vertical continuity is broken. Excavation work progresses in stages vertically down to formation level, but upper stratum near ground is widened than lowest one. Sketches are there, I'll show you the problem. It's permissible only when site surrounding allows availability of land. If there is based on training and experience for identifying, assessing existing and predictable hazards, you know, existing and predictable hazards in surrounding or working conditions that are unsanitary, hazardous, or dangerous to personnel. Competent person has necessary authorization to resort to prompt corrective measures. A thorough understanding pertaining pertinent methods of excavations extremely significant to foresee risk involved. Excavation. What is excavation when we talk of? Created cut, cavity, trench, or depression in Earth's crust surface formed by earth removal. It generally means herein for construction purpose of whatever sort. Construction requires considerable excavation. Initiation of project or start of a project. This activity, though looks easy, but it is too delicate in many cases as it is prone to dangers. It may or may not require dewatering continuously. It may be carried out shallow or deep. It may be carried out in soft means it is that atmosphere which by reason of being explosive, flammable, poisonous, corrosive, oxidizing, irritating, oxygen deficient, toxic, or otherwise harmful, may cause death, injury, or illness. On oil refineries, plants, and other subsidiary facilities, brownfield projects, generally foregoing factors, conditions are available in atmosphere due to operations losses. due to ionization of vapor gases, existence in atmosphere, fire can break out, and other explosive effects can lead to destruction of buildings, plants, equipment, and other losses. I repeat this: an atmosphere which, by reason of being explosive, flammable, poisonous, corrosive, oxidizing, irritating, oxygen deficient, toxic, or otherwise harmful, may cause death, injury, or illness. On oil refineries, plants, and other subsidiary facilities, brownfield projects, generally foregoing factors, conditions are available in atmosphere due to operations and post-operational effects due to ionization and vapor gas existence in atmosphere, fire can break out, and other explosive effects can lead to a destruction of buildings, plants, equipments, and other losses. Protective system: a method of protecting employees' personnel from caving in, such as shoring systems, sloping and benching systems, shoring systems, sloping and benching system, shield system, and other systems that provide protection from obvious consequences from falls into excavations, or excavation may fall on workers. Excavation may fall on workers means when say falls into excavations or excavation may fall onto workers. Protection systems have been defined on relevant sketches that should be referred to. These are responsibilities, and then we can say I'm not going to responsibilities. These are not important, as we already discussed. This responsibility. So let's move a little different, and meanwhile back in a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, you can just read this and see what is that. I'll be back. I'll be back in minutes, and let us see how it works. Be back. Okay, fine. 2 minutes, please. Sorry gentlemen, little delayed. Responsibility of talking in the excavation safety. Talking about responsibilities here. Now there are so many people here in, and so many responsibilities of course we have here. EPC contractor, then you can say what is the responsibility is very important point here. EPC contractor whose site manager is responsible for ensuring that requirement of this procedure adhered to by all workers. Says EPC contractor site manager is responsible for ensuring that requirement of this procedure adhered to by all workers, including that of subcontractors, until excavation is reached to its formation level. Until excavation is reached to its formation level, that is level where we have to start from. And works of foundations commence with EPC contractor site manager should not withdraw intensive attention from excavation activity, shall arrange all resources necessary to protect accidents during excavation progress and post excavation completion to avoid collapse. EPC contractor shall be responsible for effective communications and adherence to this procedure by contractor, organization, and assign responsibility to a competent person who is a civil engineer, must be a civil engineer for implementing this procedure. It says, let us say contractor, about EPC contractor, what is EPC contractor, how does it work? We have to see that issue here. It's very important one to see. EPC contractor site manager is responsible for ensuring that requirement of this procedure is adhered to by all workers, including that of subcontractors, until excavation reaches to its formation level and works of foundations commence with. EPC contractor site manager should not withdraw intensive attention from excavation activity, shall arrange all resources necessary to protect accidents during excavation progress and post excavation completion to avoid collapses. EPC contractor site manager shall be responsible for effective EPC contractor site manager shall be responsible for effective communications and adherence to this procedure by contractor, organization, and assign responsibility to a competent person or a civil engineer, you can say person should be, for implementing this procedure. EPC contractor site manager shall equip provide competent person. EPC contractor site manager shall provide a competent person with all information to be affected on site. Competent person shall be responsible for planning and monitoring work appropriate to this procedure. EPC contractor, HSC managers shall carry out regular inspections and report whatever deficiencies noticed and ensure that remedial actions be carried out in a timely fashion. Means EPCs, contractors, safety managers shall carry out regular inspections and report whatever deficiencies whatever deficiencies noticed and ensure that remedial actions be carried out in a timely fashion. Safety site engineer or inspects. Safety site engineer or inspectors shall frequently supervise excavation activity to ensure that railing, ladders, traffic diversions, dewater system are well provided. Certain instructions we talk of. Engineer, owner, representative, engineer, owner, client, other relevant organizations, authorities shall be contacted and advised of all proposed work areas where existence of underground utilities such as electrical, gas, sewerage, communication, sewerage, communication, fuel and water lines may be present, and issue an excavation permit when required using engineer or statutory authority applicable form. Overhead power transmission lines must be de-energized and visibly grounded or insulated by barriers to avoid contact by equipment that cannot maintain minimum clearance. Let's repeat this. Engineer, owner, client, or other relevant organizations, authorities shall be contacted and advised of all proposed work areas where existence of underground utilities such as electrical, gas, sewerage, communication, fuel and water lines may be present, and issue an excavation permit where required using engineer or statutory authority applicable form. Overhead power transmission lines must be de-energized and visibly grounded or insulated by barriers to avoid contact by equipment that cannot maintain minimum clearance. Notification of engineer and other relevant organizations where applicable must be for comfortable requirements in existing operating plants or other facility procedures prior to start of excavation work. Activity contractors shall be responsible for requesting and receiving other applicable excavation permits. So notification of engineers and the relevant organizations where applicable must be for comfortable requirements in existing operating plants and other facility procedures prior to start of excavation work. Activity contractors shall be responsible for requesting and receiving other applicable excavation permits. Warning signs and adequate physical barricades or protective covers must be provided for all trenches, wells, pits and shafts. Warning signs and adequate physical barricades. Warning signs and adequate physical barricades or protective covers must be provided for all trenches, wells, pits and shafts. Physical barriers must be erected at least 1.2 meters from edge around all excavations to prevent vehicles or equipment from accidentally falling into trenches. Employees shall not work in excavation pits or trenches in which water is accumulating unless adequate precautions have been taken to protect employees. And bailing out water activity functions. Bailing out water shall be conducted by using well point system or by using submersible pumps as relevant. Workers require a dry area for continuation of activities. Workers require a dry area for continuation of activities. Precautions against hazards posed by water accumulation include special support or shield system. Precautions against hazards posed by water accumulation include special support or shield systems to protect from caving in. Also, to ensure that water should not enter into other structures, foundations, by its property of permeability through soil voids. When it is unavoidable to stop its entry into adjacent structures, sheet piling may be resorted to that shall divert water movement to pass beneath other foundations levels. Very important point. Precautions against hazards posed by water accumulation include special support or shield system to protect from caving in, also to ensure that water should not enter into other structures, foundation by its property of permeability by virtues of its property of permeability through solid soil voids. When it's unavoidable to stop its entry into adjacent structures, sheet piling may be resorted to that shall divert water movement to pass beneath under foundations levels. If water is controlled or prevented from accumulating by use of water removal, if water is controlled or prevented from accumulating by use of water removal, equipment, an attendant and competent person shall be present, mobilized to ensure proper pumping operation, monitor water removal equipment, etc. Water build out should not be disposed of to ground but directed to be discharged into an existing sewerage system. And you can see sketch of dewatering activity which we are not knowing. Where stability of adjacent foundations, buildings, walls or other structure is endangered, where stability of adjoining foundations, buildings, walls or other structures is endangered by excavation operation, support systems such as shoring, bracing or underpinning shall be provided. Is determined by competent person to ensure stability of such structures remains intact. Cables and pipes exposed by excavation shall also be supported as necessary. A stairway, ladder, ramp or other safe means of access or ingress will be provided in all trenches that are 1.2 meter or more in depth and be positioned at approximately 8 to 5 meters intervals locations. So first is underpinning shall be provided as determined by competent person to ensure stability of such structures remains intact. And it says cables and pipes exposed. Which structure I'm talking about is underpinning? That is where stability of adjoining foundations, buildings, walls or other structures is endangered by excavation operations. Support systems such as shoring, bracing or underpinning shall be provided as determined by competent person to ensure stability of such structures remain intact. integrity of or stability of such structures remains intact. Cables and pipes exposed by excavation shall also be supported as necessary. A stairway, ladder, ramp, or other safe means of access or ingress or egress shall be provided in all trenches that are 1.2 meter or more in depth and be positioned at approximately 8 to 5 meter in interval location. Standard guardrails shall be provided on all walkways, ramps or bridges where employees personnel are required or permitted to cross over excavations or trenches. Handrails shall be erected around excavations where exists a risk of falling more than 2 meters. Employees' personnel shall be protected from excavated or other materials or equipment that could fall. Employees or personnel shall be protected from excavated or other materials or equipment that could fall or roll into excavation by placing and storing such material or equipment a minimum distance. Employees' personnel shall be protected from excavated or other materials or equipment that could fall or roll into excavation by placing and storing such materials or equipment a minimum distance of 1.2 meter from edge. According to practice, excavated material is directly poured into a truck which transports it to dumping location for screening or permanently disposing. Trenches and excavations more than 4 feet, trenches and excavations more than 1.2 meter in depth inside existing plant shall be examined prior to employees entering excavation or trench. Excavations at locations where hazardous atmosphere can be reasonably expected to exist, such as landfills or plants that process and store hazardous substances, shall be air monitored on a continuous basis. Employees who may be subject to hazardous dust gases, fumes, or an oxygen deficient atmosphere shall be provided with appropriate respiratory protection. Upon conclusive final results of tests determining type of respiratory protection required, daily inspections of excavations, trenches, adjacent areas and protective systems shall be made by a competent person prior to commencement of work, and as may be required throughout shift. Inspection shall be made after every rainstorm or unusual work activities, that is access heavy equipment, travel or vibration. Employees shall not be permitted to work in excavations or trenches if competent person finds evidence of a condition that could result in a possible caving in failure of a protective system, hazardous atmosphere or other hazardous conditions. Excavation deeper than 1.2 meters shall have an adequate protective system. Protection shall be done as directed by competent person in form of benching or ramped excavation, or you can say something like that. That is sloping back to safe angle of repose, shoring off side walls. Ramped excavation shall be permitted for mass excavation areas for major foundations where heavy equipment may enter and egress directly. Workers may also use ramps for entry and egress. Movement over ramp shall be controlled by signalmen deployed on both ends. Green flag shall be signaled for clearance of obstruction. Exceptions to foregoing protection shall be for excavations in stable rocks. Rocks do not pose subsistence but remain vertically stable. Moreover, excavation in rock formations consumes considerable time. So says, moreover, movement over ramp shall be controlled by signalmen deployed on both ends. Green flag shall be signaled for clearance of obstruction. Movement over ramp shall be controlled by signalmen deployed on both ends. Green flag shall be signaled for clearance of obstruction. Exceptions and foregoing protection shall be for excavation in stable rock. Rocks do not pose subsistence but remains vertically stable. Moreover, excavation in rocks formations consumes considerable time. Every effort shall be made not to open an excavation unless all materials are on site to complete work and start backfilling excavation. For excavations within site area under EPC contract control, following responsibilities shall also apply after start of underground pipe or underground electrical installation. Supervisor performing excavation is responsible for preparing excavation permit where applicable and sketch showing limits of excavation and getting it signed by concerned engineer or EPC contractor, piping mechanical engineers or their designated representatives when operating authority is involved. Permit to work in excavation shall be required prior to commencing excavation. Piping mechanical engineers are responsible for signing permit, noting on permit existing pipes and cables, and restrictions on method of excavation. Safety officers are responsible for reviewing and signing permit to ensure all conditions have been clearly stated. Contractor safety officer shall issue original permit to excavation supervisor and document a copy with safety department. EPC contractor safety officer is responsible for continually monitoring this procedure to ensure strict conformance thereof. All excavated pits or trenches shall be guarded by railings put over with warning tapes. During night hours, should area be accessible to traffic, battery operated warning lights shall be placed over rails. Such warning lights should function as hazard signal all hours during night. In case excavation is done in main traffic area, traffic diversion shall be planned with due regard to compliance of traffic rules. Necessary direction signs shall be installed. No excavation permit may be issued without traffic diversion scheme, including method statement. Generally, on road crossings, traffic shall be planned to be diverted in two halves. First half shall be finished first while traffic uses other carriageways. Second half shall be carried out after release of first half successfully. Traffic diversion has been indicated and sketches. 1 or 2 guards may be deployed on day and night duty to ensure that no child or animal falls into pit. Guards should not sleep on duty or leave diversion site unattended for personal pleasure or food without temporary standby replacement. In case dewatering is part of excavation, to keep area dry, proper arrangements shall be made to discharge bailed out water to nearby drainage manhole or outlets. When nearby discharge outlet is not available, bailed out water shall be transported using tankers. Should soil be sandy or not susceptible to pollution or clogging, and environment authorities do not bar underground water disposal, on such grounds bailed out water may be disposed of to ground but distant so that water does not return back to excavation pit until foundations have been raised to ground. All excavations in area of existing or live services shall be conducted by manual excavation near indicated location first for examination of services. Relevant authorities shall be informed when services uncovered to obtain relevant instruction about further actions. References, I repeat. All excavations in area of existing or live services shall be conducted by manual excavation near indicated location first for examination of services. Relevant authority shall be informed when service is uncovered to obtain relevant instruction. About further action. References: municipal laws, statutory references and industrial practice, safety procedures and practical experience. So in this case, you can see some responsibilities that have been explained about excavation. You can say safety as well as other responsibilities. जो safety is dominating here, that's very important point. And You can see we have talked of protective system, we have talked of hazardous atmosphere, excavation, competent person benching, like that talked of in this case. Now if you go to this is about hazardous material. Let us go one by one on this. We'll see how it works. Meanwhile, I'll just do something, put off my lights, come back. is control, storage and use of hazardous materials. In this scope, purpose same, content of this document apply to all activities. Content of these documents apply to all activities. Operations to be carried out at construction sites, inclusive of construction, commissioning and operational startup activities. Contents of this document apply to all activities, operations to be carried out at construction sites, inclusive of construction, commissioning and operational startup activities. Now, purpose of this document is to establish a procedure for systematically identifying, handling all hazardous materials associated with project and to implement appropriate all required preventive control measures. No chance should be allowed or taken in this regard. Hazards can amount to incalculable losses. We have gone through these definitions already, and only law here is that all such environmental laws applicable to in project location, jurisdiction and all other external applicable laws, local authorities, all such authorities responsible for statutory controls respecting all such hazardous materials, means that main contractor and officer, HSC officer, should take care of these laws. Same way responsibilities as usual, there is no major difference. Responsibilities of PC and all that. Same way instructions here, that is important one, that EPC contractor and subcontractor shall certainly conform to national safety and environmental protection legislation. Hazardous substances include all flammable liquids or any or some other substance likely to give rise to toxic, corrosive, irritant or harmful effect, risk results to personal or environment. Hazardous substances include all flammable liquid or anyone or substances likely to give rise to toxic, corrosive, irritant or harmful effects, risk results to personal or environment. No hazardous substance shall be brought onto site without approval of EPC contractor, site HSC lead. This approval shall only be given upon receipt of material data sheet and after its thorough study of possible adverse impacts. Material hazard data sheet. Material hazard data sheet for substance shall be given to contractor, field procurement manager, a copy being retained for approval, review by contractor, EPC contractor, site manager, HSC manager. A further copy is to be provided to medical staff to review and identify applicable treatments to be imparted with either on site or at local hospital for possible injuries, treatment to personnel. Storage facilities for hazardous substances shall be approved by EPC contractor, HSC lead to ensure that materials can be stored in accordance with manufacturer's recommendations or instructions. Fuel storage facilities provided by EPC contractor and subcontractors shall conform to requirements for containing any or whatever leaks or spillage, namely bund or embankment, shall be provided for certain bulk diesel storage area to be capable of containing 150% of total required volume. Diesel storage area to be capable of containing 150% of total required volume for equipment and trailers that move around site. Drip trays shall be provided to contain surging or leaking oil on tray. Fuel storage facilities provided by contractor and subcontractors shall conform to requirements for containing whatever leaks or spillage, that is bund or embankment, shall be provided for certain bulk diesel storage area to be able to contain 150% of total required volume for equipment and trailers that move around site. Drip trays shall be provided to contain surging or leaking oil onto tray. Substances stored on site be subject to agreement with EPC contractor, site manager, HSE manager. Substances stored be capped to minimum on quantity, be securely locked or fenced off and under control of field procurement manager. Have appropriate warning notices affixed onto storage facility. Have no smoking notices affixed to storage facility where flammable substances are stored. Have firefighting extinguishers appropriate to store substances and provided with all other emergency equipment, including spill equipment located nearby containment area. Substances shall be held in secure, appropriate containers with substance clearly identified along with hazard warning symbol or exterior of container. This will apply to containers in use in field as well as those held in current time. All containers holding hazardous substances must have their lids replaced. All containers holding hazardous substances must have their lids replaced when are not in use. Only small quantities should be removed from approved store at one time. It's EPC contractor and subcontractors' responsibility to ensure that users of substances are properly informed, instructed and trained in hazards control measures to be employed. In addition, it is the responsibility of EPC contractor, field procurement manager, leader, supervisor to ensure that all materials are retained in current time until positive confirmation is received from medical administration that necessary treatments for accidents to personnel are manageable. Empty or redundant containers and all excess materials must be removed as soon as possible and arrangements made for their safe disposal. It's a requirement that designated skips are provided for identification, segregation, and removal of waste from site. Oh, Lord. Hazardous substance must not be discharged onto ground or into drains where they can cause pollution or an explosion. In the event of an accidental spillage, EPC contractor, HSC manager is to be informed immediately. All hazardous materials by cross-contamination may certainly be acting volatile, leading to cause a major incident. Fire or explosion shall be suitably segregated. Where segregation is not clearly stated on containers, containerized material, where segregation is not clearly stated on containerized material or data sheet, advice shall be sought through EPC contractor, project HSC manager. A hazardous material log register is to be maintained under supervision of EPC contractor, field procurement manager, leader to identify responsible personnel. Periodicity or schedule of inspection and ensuring compliance with this procedure. All hazardous waste consignments must be accompanied by a waste transfer note authorizing transport by a registered waste carrier. References are control of substances, hazardous to health regulations, 1988 UK, Environment Protection Duty of Care Legislations UK. So what we have done in this case, we have gone through this and we have seen this. Let us see verse 14 here. Incident reporting. Incident reporting. Let us see what is in this first, how it goes. Good. This scope is to be applied for every incident. It applies every incident that may occur on construction, operation, projects or sites. No incident or accident should be hidden from organization. Every accident or incident should be informed. Purpose of this procedure is to ensure that all incidents are reported in a logical and consistent manner, to give guidance or preparation of accident reports, and to capture all information necessary to identify accident cause failures, cause factors. Prevention of accidents adds to health and proficient working on sites. Purpose of this procedure is to ensure that all incidents are reported in a logical and consistent manner, to provide guidance on preparation of accident reports, and to capture all information necessary to identify accidental cause factors. Prevention of accidents adds to health and proficient working of working on sites. It adds to value engineering on production. It results in saving life of human. It results in professionalism. It results in capacity building potential. Definitions, they are same, that's no major. Subcontractor, personal responsibility, training are same. Now, what's accident, incident, or near miss? Even that, whatever event that results in property damage, whatever event that results in property damage or personal injury or both. Near miss, event that has a potential for a higher severity. Event miss that near miss event that has a potential for a higher severity in terms of property damage or personal injury or both. Now, category A, category B, there are two. In category A, form used for recording all injuries and property damage incidents. Form B, this category B is form used for investigating serious or potentially serious incidents and recording a root cause analysis. Category A, form used for recording all injuries and property damage incidents. And category B, form used for investigating serious or potentially serious incidents and recording a root cause analysis. Its responsibilities are all same. Let's see. Responsibilities. What responsibilities they consider for on this issue? Site leader. Site leader. Ensure that incidents are being investigated and reported. Ensure that victims are immediately allowed first aid, following which hospitalization is provided. Ensure that incidents are being investigated and reported. Ensure that victims are immediately allowed first aid, following which hospitalization is provided. Ensure that remedial actions are being dealt with in an effective and timely manner. Immediately report all accidents or serious incidents. 2. Employers, contract engineer, construction leader and contractors, project leaders who shall immediately inform employers, project leader. Then we can say, ensure that remedial actions are being dealt with in effective and timely manner. Immediately report all accidents or serious incidents to employers, contract engineer, construction leader and contractors, project leader, who shall immediately inform employers, project leader. Comply with all accidents, related procedures of reporting and investigating, as well as extending medical aid and hospitalization. Contractor health, safety, environment and security manager. Immediately report all accidents or serious incidents to site leader for necessary arrangement or management actions. Immediately act for meeting emergencies, procedures to procedures including reporting and medical provisions, responsible for development of this procedure and monitoring compliance, initiate investigation procedures. Subcontractor site leader shall ensure that this procedure is being implemented correctly, and contractor and subcontractor site supervision shall report all accidents or serious incidents immediately to their respective manager. HSC manager shall participate in administration of this procedure, shall ensure that recommendations resulting from whatever investigations are being acted upon. HS subcontractor HSC manager shall facilitate implementation of this procedure whenever required by identifying and interacting with witnesses and collecting all evidences required in connection with investigation, interrogation process, shall participate, cooperate in investigation process, shall liaise with site medical department in reviewing Category A reports and identifying its trends or concerns. Immediately report all accidents or serious incidents to subcontractor, site leader and contractor HSE manager. All subcontractors shall be required to comply with this procedure. Instructions. This procedure has been broken down to two stages. Category A form is for minor incidents to enable site safety response representative to maintain a log of all such incidents and Category A form is for minor incidents to enable site safety representative to maintain a log of all incidents and accidents, establishing trends, cost analysis and construct a project file. Category B for pro formas are structured to enable effective investigation of all serious accidents or incidents and to arrive at root cause analysis. Guidance on use of incident report forms. Category A reports attachment to be documented in medical center and with safety representative and record using following guidelines. Incident report shall be marked, given a sequential number, type of incident to be ticked as appropriate, description of incident, medical safety representative provides brief details, potential severity for certain near miss incidents or situations that could have resulted in more serious injury, property damage. Property damage reports. The report is self-explanatory. So this is incident report shall be marked given sequential number, type of incident to be ticked as appropriate, description of incident, medical safety representative provides brief details, potential severity for certain near miss incidents or situations that could have resulted in more serious injury, property damage. Property damage report is self-explanatory. Injury report to be filled in by medico and injured party wherever relevant for possible applications. Category A report pro forma can be used as a standalone document. Medico retains a copy of all completed forms, log all injuries, and site safety representative would take all property damage incidents by maintaining a record on site. Category B site investigation result sheet. Investigation result sheet should be completed by site safety representative using following guidelines. Site safety representative has a coordinating role regarding preparation of these reports and shall establish an investigation team in conjunction with site manager to establish accident cause first. So I'll take it later on now. I'll take it later on. Lots of different approach today. I'm not going at length. This will take up later on. I'll go very deep because this has to be discussed in details and cannot be done likewise, Therefore, thank you very much, gentlemen. And I think we'll do likewise this